Wigan player will miss Wembley. And Richard Russell, former Wigan player, Marcus Charles went in the other direction. Russ Walker completes the second row. He's another ever-present, signed from Barrow in January 1990. And Great Britain under-21 international Steve McNamara, he completes the lineup at loose forward for the coach, Noel Crusher-Cleal. Merkel is the man who's going to get this match underway. Mr. Goldsworth checks with the touch judges, blows the whistle. We're underway here at Watersheddings. We're live and exclusive on the Sports Channel. Oldham against Hull. Last match in the First Division, at least for 12 months for Oldham. And Mike, I said at the start of our transmission really that pride is the key, and I'm sure that the two coaches have said exactly that.
No doubt about that, Eddie, but I'm sure that a few of those players out there realise that there's a few pound notes to be had next season. And a good game here may just prompt the committee to either keep them or even give them an increase.
Richard Russell, the man in possession for Oldham. Ball is laid back. McAllister with the left foot, looking into a bit of a breeze, and it's Fox Richard Gay. Has to retreat to within 10 metres of his own line. Oldham have moved up. They've not got him, and this is Eastwood. Great Britain international winger, of course, Paul Eastwood. Really has been a memorable season this season. The Kangaroos over in October. It's not over yet by any means. We have Wembley in a fortnight. We have the Premiership playoffs beginning next Sunday. You'll be able to see one of those matches live and exclusive here on the Sports Channel. So plenty of rugby league to come, Mike.
Certainly is, and I expect a bit kicking game in the first half from Hull. They'll want to play deep down in the Oldham.
Tester for Duncan Platt. That collects it. Tries to ride the tackle of Brad Webb. Russ Walker has him. Ford run around with Robinson. Harrison and Webb in on the tackling job. Now here's Ford. He'll see plenty of it tonight. McAllister, good ball that. And that's not bad either to Martin. And Martin out to Richard Blackman. First touch for this fellow. He looks like he's got a pair of legs on him here. He really can move, but he's gone in touch.
Well, the crowd don't like it. It looked as though that Blackman had been tackled first and then dragged into touch afterwards. But you mentioned he certainly has a bit of speed there. He keeps his legs over. Well, I don't know.
On his debut, born in Lambeth in London. I said to him before the match he was one of the few London-born players playing in this game, but he seems to think there are a few more. Nice little ball back to Walker. Ball popped up. Nearly, but not quite. That was Steve McNamara playing, juggling with it.
Yes, well, he's bringing it down. He's really impeded there. The referee allowing play on.
Richard Russell, the man in possession. Ruane finds Ford, and there's the player coach Fieldhouse. Keeps the ball alive well. Brett Clark. Platt joins the line. Good tackling by Walker. Clark from dummy half. Scampering forward on his own. Last tackle. Ford. Chip over the top. Eastwood has it. Good play from Oldham there, putting Eastwood under some pressure. I must say they do rue the fact, Mike, that they're going down, because they point out here at Watersheddings that they really, although they've lost the last two to Wigan and Warrington, they haven't been hammered by any side here at Watersheddings this season, and they feel really bitter that they are dropping down to the second division.
Well, they've every right to be, because they play some very entertaining football. And we saw there from Clark. Brett Clark is going to be the linchpin of this attacking motion for Oldham. But I'm sure that they're looking forward to the second division next year with a bit of glee. They certainly have got a good squad.
Problem for them, of course, is keeping the squad together. It's a squad, I think, that will bring them out of the second division next season. But then, of course, the problem for them again is whether they've got enough power and talent to stay in the top flight. It's getting very, very difficult now for clubs to come up out of the second division and play with the big boys. Penalty to Oldham. Jackson penalised, stripping the ball.
Well, here we see Clark tackled. Now Jackson just whips it out. Referee on the ball. You could see it.
Atkinson with the kick, deposits it in touch. Ruane restarts. No player injured there in that tackle. It's Martin. I'd rather know it, isn't it? It's Keith Atkinson. I'd say it's Martin with the skull cap. There's the injured player for Hull. Onta, though, tidying up for the early birds.
Be interesting to see how the change between Onta and Mackie will work.
Duncan Platt. It's Damien McGarry who is receiving attention over on that far side, the Australian. So Hull having to cope at the moment with 12 men. Here's Mike Ford. Looked up then and saw that McGarry was hobbling his way back into play. But Jackson and McNamara had him before he had a chance to kick ahead. That's a knock-on. Robinson, the guilty party. There's McGarry, limping heavily.
That was a bad mistake there by Robinson. You'll notice here that he just takes his eye off the ball. It wasn't the best of passes, but he should have moved towards that.
Referee wants the scrum to reform. Now it does. Mackie has it. A bad tackling stint this by Oldham. Hull now tried to spread it wide. Walker. Jackson's heard the call. Bring it this way. Mackie, long pass out to Eastwood. Again, good defence from Oldham. Jackson, that's a good run, and that's Harrison, and Carl Harrison's over underneath the post. Doesn't score many tries, but his first try of the season was against Oldham in December. He's now scored 3, and another of them has come against Oldham once more. 7.5 minutes gone.
Beautiful switch here. It brought about a blindside run from the hooker, and Harrison, good support play. But Oldham were caught out, not moving up very quickly. They're taking it blind. Now you can't allow the hooker to run this far. Jackson did well. The support play was there, and prop forwards love nothing better.
Carl Harrison, Great Britain international prop forward. His 4th try of the season now. Former Bramley and Featherstone player. A man who's been moulded by the coaching staff here at Hull into an international forward. Good try, right under the posts. And so Eastwood has this relatively simple conversion. Although in a win like this, anything's possible, but he's right in front. He should really make it 6-0 in a few seconds' time. Kick is good. Paul Eastwood's 109th goal of the season. He's up to 270 points now, and Hull have a 6-point advantage.
That really was good play by Hull. Mackie calling for the ball on the blind side. They swept it down, and they brought the Oldham defence into one corner, and that quick run by the hooker was enough to create the gap and score the first try.
Oldham restart then. And that's McNamara with it for Hull. Jackson now. This is Dannett. You notice that Gary Nolan has come on. Number 14 for Damien McGarry, who was limping away earlier on. And here come Hull again. Jackson, who made the try a few moments ago. Mackey is there in support. Mackey again, such a busy player, so important to Hull. Releases the ball though, and Round has it back for Oldham.
It's quite obvious that the Hull coach, Noel Cleal, wants them to keep this ball alive. They were looking towards this game to get everything sorted out for the Premiership playoffs.
Yes, they start next week. Well, Damien McGarry off injured. Peter Hutton's news of him.
Yeah, he's just having his ankle treated at the moment. The Hull were rather worried. He turned his ankle, told him to try and keep playing on it to make sure it didn't swell up. But then after a little spell on the wing, he reported it was swelling up. They've brought him off for a bit of treatment, and Gary Nolan, the man on to replace him.
Gary Nolan, man doing the tackling there, brother of Rob Nolan. And his brother is on crutches at the moment. He's out now for the rest of the season. But this is Gary Nolan's debut. That's Brad Webb with the football.
That really was silly play there by Paul Round. He virtually just passed it into the Hull player's path.
Damara for Hull. Fieldhouse leading the tackling. Harrison, score of the first try. 6-0. Hull have the advantage. Walker, Cumbrian captain, tackled by McAllister. On tap to Mackey. McNamara, that's a good ball into Gay's path. Last tackle. Mackey again, long pass to Jackson. Jackson rolls it almost along the ground. That's sloppy play. And what's more, they've given it to Martin. Martin's hacked it forward. He looked over his shoulder and thought that Blackman was perhaps a little quicker than he was. Unfortunately for Hull, Neil Turner was quicker of the three of them, and he's the man who's dropped on it. Penalty to Hull.
Well, that was silly play there. You see Brett Clark just swinging at it before the ball has even attempted to be placed on the ground. No doubt about the penalty. A little bit of luck there for going to Oldham's way to get that interception, at least take the ball up into the Hull territory, because their defensive pattern, Oldham, is really all at sea. They're allowing the Hull forwards to run at them rather than moving up and stopping.
On touch, spreading the play wide. Good ball to Durham. Durham dropped it and Round has it, and now he's dropped it. What a catalogue of errors this. Jackson. So difficult, I suppose, Mike, for the players of both sides to get motivated for this. The league campaign, in effect, over 24 hours ago when the championship pennant hoisted at Central Park, but they really are. I mean, they should be playing for their pride and their contract, as you so rightly say.
Well, they've really got to get in, and if they don't, I can assure you that there'll be plenty said at the half-time break from both coaches. Hull really have to use this as a springboard for the attempt to go for the Premiership.
McNamara has the ball for them. That's the last tackle, though. They're 10 metres inside the Oldham half. Mackey's kick ahead. Oh, well fielded by Blackman. He's impressive with his high-stepping runs, this fella. Now Irving. A side step from Irving. It went high. Ford. Ruane. Clark. Ruane in support, over the top basketball style, lucky to get away with that. Good support from Ford. This is Martin, Tommy Martin, ball in field looking for Ford. Ford has it. And Ford is underneath the post for Oldham. Good try. That one didn't have second division stamped all over it. That was good play.
Very good play indeed. We see Clark and they get it back to the hook and he takes it over. Now watch for number 5, Hull, Neil Turner. He goes for the intercept. He leaves it all so wide. The ball back inside to Ford. Ford does the right thing. There's Martin. The kick, it's all play on. Good support play there. And the Oldham skipper in for a vital try at a vital time. Now here you see quite clearly it wasn't a knock-on. He kicked it through well. And this all came about because of a bad mistake there in defence.
Mike Ford's 10th try of the season. As I say, Leeds reported to be interested in signing him for next year. Ever present in this Oldham team. As they've struggled for survival, a struggle that, of course, has ended in failure. He played as a 19-year-old at Wembley, the Challenge Cup final for Wigan. Meanwhile, Platt has added the extra 2. And so, here we are at Watersheddings. It's all square, and a quarter of an hour of the match gone. Oldham 6, Hull 6.
Full credit to Oldham. They did take their chances. It really was a poor mistake there by Hull. Their defence was caught napping. The overlap, as you could well see, was there on the right-hand side. And they posted 6 points for it.
Mackey then restarts. McAllister. Well, that will give a bit of a pep into the Oldham step, and Duncan Platt, the goal scorer there. I'm sure he wasn't out celebrating with his brother Andy last night on the winning of the championship. Andy Platt is Duncan's brother, the Wigan forward. I'm sure he stayed at home and concentrated on this one. Celebrations perhaps next week. Paul round now. Back to McAllister. Catches in the breeze, but tricky for Gay. He takes it well, though. Oh, and then he pops one up to Nolan. Jackson's in there at dummy half. Mackey and Onta. Bradway in support. Delayed the pass brilliantly there. This now is Jackson. Eastwood bounces off his chest. And Oldham have it back. Wayne.
Wasted chance there really by Hull. They are making the bad mistake of forcing the pass. But Eastwood really should have taken that. It wasn't a difficult inside ball.
Richard Russell. Oldham unbeaten here throughout last season in Division 2. Won 6, lost 6 this time round in the top flight. Ford clings on brilliantly. Platt's joined the line. Blackman was looking for it and has it. Last tackle. Russell. 6 tackle, that's the turnover. Handling errors. Hull have made a couple more than Oldham. Perhaps this wind that is around, it really is blustery tonight, causing 1 or 2 problems for the players, Mike.
Well, it certainly will. It's a pretty light ball, but I'm surprised that Hull are making the first man off the ruck so tight. They really should be standing a little bit further back. Both Mackey and Onta, they're just getting in each other's way.
Here's Nolan. Product of the Hull Dockers Club. The ball in field finds Turner. Nolan smother him. Can't make any progress. Perhaps they can now with Durham. Harrison. Out the back door to Nolan. Now that's Mackey. This is Onta. Good play from Onta. Mackey in support. Gay. Ball charged down, referee says knock on.
Well, I'm sure Crusher Cleal, the coach, will be far from impressed by that. That approach work is good. Gay trying to get the ball in, and there, the man wasn't even looking at the football. It's all right making the breaks, but they really have got to respect this possession.
All round limping off. Peter Hutton has details.
Yeah, he got a knock to the back of his back just a few moments ago, just the base of his back. He played on for a few moments, and then at that stage he just waved to the bench and said it's time to come off. So the man who's coming on is number 15, Simon Longstaff, losing his time from Halifax.
Big blow that for Oldham. Paul Round is their leading try scorer this season with 18 touchdowns. Doesn't seem to do well every time he's in front of our cameras. He was sent off in the Challenge Cup semi-final when last we saw Oldham. Doesn't need to play a full game when we're here, Mike.
Yeah, he's a very strong player though, and as you mentioned, Eddie, it's a sad loss to the Oldham side. But there we see the replay, and this is the reason why the touch judge came in. I thought it was quite fair. The little flag waver didn't.
Oldham player needing attention is Richard Irving, product of the Mould Green Amateur Club at Huddersfield. 6-all midway through this first half. Good kick, caught in the wind. Gained a few extra metres, penalties. Just Oldham's 2-1 scoreline. 6-all though the important one in terms of points. Atkinson has it now for Oldham. This is Ruane, now Ford. There's the first touch for Longstaff. Made his debut for the club last week against Warrington. That's really that meant Oldham were on the way to the second division when they lost it. McAllister. Oh, he's a big boy. Longstaff's lost it. And Hull have it back.
Well, I don't know whether they put a little bit of extra wind in that ball tonight, but it's causing the players a lot of problems.
Hull in possession, champions last in 1983 under Arthur Bunting. And second the following year, and this is their best effort, third, providing they cling on to it tonight since then. Durham has it for them. Now it's with Onta. Harrison. Last tackle. So will Hull run it or will they kick it? The answer is they'll do neither. If Martin had Nolan all wrapped up.
Well, with such a strong wind behind them, Hull should have used that a lot more. There's no point in dying on the last tackle and giving Oldham a simple possession. They should have reefed it high and put pressure on the fullback.
Clark. Well, really for Clark to go then. 3 Hull players are all round him. Ford. Good little skip over the top. It bounces timely enough too. He's got Clark in support. There's Brett Clark. And I think he's got the pace of Eastwood. He has. Great try, Brett Clark. The man who joined Oldham last season had service with West and St Helens. His 11th try of the season. And didn't he take great delight from that one? Oldham have the lead.
And so he should. Ford seeing that there's no sweeper, no one had dropped back. He took the advantage, he got a beautiful bounce, draws the fullback nicely just there. Good support play by the Australian Clark. And he's got enough start on the rest for Eastwood to stop him. He's in for a good try. Tremendous play here. This is what it's called brains in football. He can see there's no one at home. And with a ball that shape, often bounces nicely for you. Draws a fullback. Nothing he can do about it. There you can see Eastwood trying vainly to stop this fellow. He won't. And Oldham go to a shock lead.
And Platt has hit the post with a conversion. So it stays at 10-6 in Oldham's favour. But didn't Brett Clark take delight from that try? The way he... It was about 5 metres to die. That would have got 8.6 in an Olympic swimming pool, that.
Not from the Russians.
Right, let's go downstairs again. Peter Hutton.
With me, Ian McCorkdale from Oldham. Ian, 2 great tries for you so far.
Yeah, it's good support, full of praise for Michael Ford. He's been outstanding all season. It's no surprise that Australian clubs want him to go for this summer. He's got a kick early in the tackle count. Hull have got a very good kicking game themselves, and it's hard to catch him at something because they prepare so well. So we're very pleased to see that succeed.
Is it clear that Mike Ford will be here next season?
I don't think there's a single player in a red shirt or a single person on the coaching staff who knows where they'll be next year.
Obviously, it must be difficult motivating yourself for a game like this, but they certainly seem to be playing well after Hull had the edge early on.
Motivation's never really been a problem. There's always been consistency. We've been professional, and in every game that we've had this season, we've had at least a 20-minute spell where we've been on top. Unfortunately, they've not been able to maintain it. I mean, they're too good for the second division, but over the season as a whole, they've not proved consistent enough to justify the place in the first.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
I think that speaks volumes for the entire Oldham season, frankly. What we're seeing tonight, I think, is too good for the second division, with all due respect to the other clubs down there, Mike, but they just haven't been able to put it together when it's mattered.
Well, they realise they've got a long job ahead of them, and they've got to start looking now for 2 and 3 seasons in front. They've done well over the years. They've gone to Australia and brought back some very good players. Maybe they've got to do the same thing again.
Oldham midway inside the Hull half of the field. They're certainly bossing it at the moment. Ball went back. Referee was kind with the decision. Through the leg. Good kick ahead from Longstaff. Fine touch. Good period to play this for Oldham.
Certainly is, and quite a good kick here. Longstaff certainly showing that he's got plenty of grey matter upstairs where it counts, but I get the impression, Eddie, that Hull, after scoring that first try, they thought that it was going to be easy. They seem to have gone to sleep. Oldham have bounced back with glee.
I think Mr. Cleo might have a word to say about that during the half-time interval. Or Cleo, the Hull coach, of course. There's someone who never goes to sleep. Mackie. Turner. Good defence from Oldham, though.
They really are quite an amazing side, Oldham. I can remember last time we were here, Wakefield raced away to a commanding lead, and Oldham looked as though they were gone for all goings, but they came back.
Here comes Hull again, though, with Harrison, the try-scorer. That looked a touch forward to Ontat, and referee Galbraith right on the spot. But look at the smile on Ontat's face. And with the ball, he doesn't agree.
Well, there's not many things I can say in French, but I think he would have said oui to that one.
I'll say Patrick Ontat's English has come on a ton this year.
Are you saying it's a lot better than my French?
Well, no comment. Platt receiving running repairs. 2 hold-ups in play in this first half. As players have received knocks and bumps and bruises late on in the season. And this is why he needed a magic sponge.
Yes. The end, which was the forward pass. A little bit further on from that, where the collision took place.
Oh, but that ball has come out of the scrum to Brad Webb, and Brad Webb has given Eastwood the easiest try or score this season. Eastwood nearly went straight down the lens of our camera in that far corner. But that's another 4-pointer for Hull, and that was dreadful defending around the base of the scrum by Oldham. Webb seized on the mistake, flicked the ball out to Eastwood, and Eastwood has run in his 14th try of the season.
Well, it always does this when you get one against the head. Now the Oldham defence stood there watching. Webb had enough sense to go round the man, and Eastwood in for a very easy try. There's Webb. Good support. Where was the defence? That's what Oldham will be asking themselves now. There you see the Australian. Good positioning by the Great Britain winger. He knows where to go.
Good try for Hull. We're having a discussion with the referee about what happened after his touchdown, I think. That he's been maybe shepherded towards the corner. But it's a very difficult angle in this wind. And the referee wants somebody to come along and hold on to the ball while Eastwood takes this conversion attempt. Actually looking where he's placed the ball here, he thinks about 4 yards. That was right on the corner flag. Ball's fallen over again. Probably hear the wind blowing around the microphones here at Watersheddings tonight. Very high up in the Pennines we are. We need undersoil heating here in the middle of July. Now the referee is happy. Jackson with a finger on the ball. And Eastwood with the attempt. Well, he struck it sweet enough. But not quite. So back to square one we go. Paul Eastwood, Great Britain international. With that try in the 28th minute. It's 10 apiece. And half an hour of this match gone.
That really was a bad mistake by Oldham there. They had the head and feet, lost possession at a crucial time. That's one of the things that I've always been harping on about, is that when you have the head and the feet, you have a tendency to move your defence up in a straight line. And that's where they were caught napping.
Oldham have made a change. Peter Hutton's got the details.
Yeah, the man who's come on is number 14, Steve Warburton. Warburton on for his first appearance. He's replaced the number 5, Steve Robinson. So Warburton playing in the centre. Richard Irving going onto the wing. Robinson off after taking a knock a few moments ago and maybe being partly at fault for that try.
Good night then to Steve Warburton, Great Britain amateur stand-off half. He was signed this week from Woolston Rovers.
Well, I don't know what the crowd were worrying about that. There was no doubt about it. Went into touch.
Final word about Steve Warburton. He's from Woolston Rovers, as I say, and Fieldhouse, John Fieldhouse here at Oldham cut his coaching teeth with the amateurs of Woolston Rovers. Hull coming back into it. This is Nolan.
Well, that's the second time that Hull have wheeled the pack, got away with it and picked up possession.
Janet has it for them. Jackson's the dummy half. Now is McNamara. Jackson again. Eastwood's hugging this touchline. Now he isn't, he's cutting in field. And Fieldhouse has it. As I mentioned earlier, 1 or 2 bumps and bruises as Ontar goes down the middle. And there's another one. Neil Turner, who has a problem with his right thigh. We're on the last tackle now. Took over the top from Mackey. And I think that was just the wrong side of the corner flag. Yes, it was.
Just a little bit too strong here from Mackey, but he's running across the field. Oldham are allowing him that latitude. And that's where the gaps are going to come. They've got to try to shut him down.
Fieldhouse. Wonder whether Oldham's board, Mike, will be brave enough to give John Fieldhouse his head next season to get the club back into the First Division.
Well, I think he's done quite a good job in the period that he's taken over.
Ford. Creative player, Mike Ford. Warburton. In tackle count ball square. Wayne to Fieldhouse. Certainly got the spirit going here at Oldham. Now Ford. Irving's with him in support. Delayed the pass. And Eastwood and Durham tackle him out of it. From the 22, last tackle.
And there you saw the quality of Ford there. You could see him calling in the wingman inside.
That kick ahead, Jackson read it. Gives it to Turner, who recovered from that thigh injury by the looks. On tap. Forward, McNamara has it. Damn it. Marauding down the centre of the field. We've got 5 minutes to go here. All square, 10 apiece. Harrison. Oh, he just completely threw Warburton off then.
Well, he created the half chance, but there was no support play by Hull at all. They really have got to get that sorted out. Harrison was looking for support, and there was none there.
Duncan Platt now. That was a big hit by those two. McNamara and Eastwood. Brought Platt's run to a halt. This is now Richard Irving. Mike Ball. Read it well. Walker, Jackson watching for the danger. This is Clark. Scored that try earlier on with flourish. Nearly popped one up then for number 11 Durham. And that was a knock on.
Good play by Clark. He's kept the ball alive here. Certainly a lot quicker than he was at the start of the season. Overcome an injury that he suffered in the early part of last year.
McAllister has it though for Oldham. Now this is Fieldhouse. Got to be a penalty. McNamara was holding Brett Clark down.
He certainly was, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Clark holding him, is he? No doubt about it. Referee correct. And that's why the penalty is given. They're silly penalties by Hull. They're allowing Oldham to get back into this game again.
Oldham have had 4 penalties to Hull's 1. This one gives them a chance to build something up to half-time. Ford. McAllister. Warburton. Now then, what can Atkinson do with this? Another penalty. Well, the referee, I think it's called held. And number 11, Steve Durham, stripped the ball from his grasp here.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Now, did Atkinson release the ball? Maybe he did. Durham decided to pick it up. And another silly penalty. And Coach Noel Cleal will have plenty to say in the half-time talk, that is for sure.
Jackson, the Great Britain international hooker, discussing the decision with the whole supporters who are massed behind those posts. And Duncan Platt has this penalty to give Oldham a half-time advantage. Strikes it sweetly. Hit the post about 5 minutes ago from a similar angle. No mistake this time. Oldham 12, Hull 10. And right on half-time. Irving collects with a minute to go. He has to be quick, my word, he nearly paid the price then. That's Longstaff now for Oldham. This now is Atkinson.
Well, Irving did seem to take an eternity to pick up that ball. And he's put Oldham in a bad position here. And I'm sure that they'll hold out until the half-time break.
Well into the last minute of the half then. Fieldhouse for Oldham. Last tackle. And for McAllister to kick again. Doing well with the kick, considering the breeze, but Richard Gay not doing well with the catching because of the breeze. Knocks on.
Well, it was a huge kick by McAllister, and Richard Gay there, you see, brought the ball, tried to turn his body sideways, but it wasn't enough for the referee to say and deem it was a knock-on.
McAllister has possession from the scrum, Ford's in support, and McNamara's all over him. Playing in time added on for stoppages, there'll be a bit of that. Russell. Mike Ford. Ruane. Mike Ford claiming that it should have been 6 more, but in fact it's Hull's ball. Opportunity wasted there. Janet. Good ball. This is a good run. Mackey in support. Samara's original run. Good chasing back though by the substitute Warburton. Last tackle. Mackey will hoist one. There's a tester for Platt. It's hung in the breeze. Clark has it. Now it's serving. Full minute of stoppage time played.
That was much better play there by Hull. The forwards were running onto the ball with a lot more speed.
Ford tried to chip over the top again. Walker decided this time that ball was going nowhere, impeded him, brought him down. Body check.
No doubt about it. And Ford once again reading the fact that Hull did not have a second line of defence. They've got to get that sorted out. It rests on the shoulders of Mackey, and that on 2 occasions he has been found wanting.
Another chance then for Oldham as we approach half-time. Atkinson. 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Hull appealing for a knock-on. Referee says no. Clark trying to open up this defence. McAllister might do. With runs like that. Ball bounces free. Referee's whistle sounds. Run down. Knock-on is the decision.
Well, McAllister was the one that was running straight for a change. Oldham would put the ball across the 3-quarter line. He tried to get it round the man. Unsuccessful.
Penalty at the scrum. To Hull. I don't know whether the timekeepers have lost the watches. We're now into the 4th minute. Half-time added on, and there is the half-time siren. So, Oldham are ahead by 12 points to 10. The men who are on their way to the 2nd division have shaded that first half. During the half-time interval, we shall be talking to the Wigan chairman, Maurice Lindsay, so join us for that after this break. 40 minutes of First Division football at Watershedding. Ball's come free. Jackson got flattened in the tackle then. And Oldham looked fired up, Mike, at the start of this. You back in the coat, by the way, now?
A little bit warmer, yes. Well, they certainly are, but I'm sure the Old Clear would have given his charges plenty to think about at the half-time break. They really did go to sleep for a while, but let's not take anything away from the Oldham side. They really have injected a lot of speed and enthusiasm into, especially late in that first half.
Russell to McAllister. Russell in support again. Gaps opened up. Hull have him by the shirt tails. Last tackle. McAllister will hoist this. That's caught in the wind. Difficult one for Gay. Penalty, though, to Hull. Ruane had moved up too quickly.
No doubt about it. The Hull player there was far and away offside.
Ruane clutching the knee. This is why.
Well, I think he may have collided there with Gay. Yes, it looks as though right on the kneecap. And that is very painful, I can assure you. It's often you see hookers, who are normally quite handsome in general.
One or two exceptions, Mike.
Yeah, but it's very rare you see the front rowers rolling around in pain, so I suppose it's a bit like the funny bone on the elbow, right on the knee.
Well, it might be a funny bone, but poor old Andrew Ruane is laughing about it, and I think that Oldham might have a problem, haven't they, Peter?
Yeah, there's two guys that have gone off, Steve Robinson and Paul Round, both took knocks. Steve Robinson, in fact, is going to come back on, and that's against the way that Oldham were thinking at half-time. They prefer to keep him off the field. He's far from fully fit. He's in a better state than Paul Round, though, who might have been the logical replacement for Andy Ruane. As far as Hull are concerned, meanwhile, the situation with Neil Turner, he took a lot of treatment during half-time, and they reckon that he could keep playing for the full 80 minutes, while McGarry is also fit to come back on. But at the moment, the stretch is out for Andy Ruane.
It's very sad to see, and we'll have another look at this injury as Ruane picks himself up. It really is a nasty collision, Mike.
It certainly is, and, well, you know, I think probably he's caught the boot fair and square on the knee, perhaps. So he does go down rather awkward. Yeah, you can see him clutching the knee there. Great camera shot. Let's hope that Ruane is okay.
Well, the important thing is, by the looks of things, he doesn't need the stretcher. He might be back on, although it really has obviously taken the wind out of his sails. Meanwhile, play continues. Jackson to Harrison. Steve Robinson back on, number 5. Mackey's kick ahead. Black collects inside his own 22. Turner has him. Janet completes the job. Forward and McAllister. Fieldhouse. Black joins the line again. Forward past that. Oh, referee missed it. Martin to Ford. Fieldhouse in support. No man's land. Martin collects again. Shows a good bit of pace and then hacks the ball ahead. Judge's flag is up. Thought for a moment he was going to pull Walker back for this attempted obstruction.
Well, there was no doubt about it. Martin has gone through. He just run across in front of him. He's allowed to do that. But there's no doubt there was a forward pass a little bit early on than that. Oldham gets Lady Luck on their side.
Hull have the ball from the scrum. Well, it's April the 14th, Mike, but I must confess, I've not been as cold as this all season.
I can have to agree with you there, Eddie. Certainly not Bondi Beach weather, is it?
Certainly isn't. 5 minutes of this second half gone. 12-10, the lead to Oldham. Scrappy play. Mike Ford has it for the home side. Number 5, Robinson back on, patched up, taking the place of Ruane. Fieldhouse now. Good play from Fieldhouse. Gives it to Longstaff. Clark and Ford. Such a good partnership that is. Atkinson has it now. Russell, Ford again. Dinks the ball ahead. Mackey read it well. Back to Gay. Clark's after him. Clark has him.
Good tackle, but also good play there by Mackey. He was caught out twice in the first half, not sweeping, but it was certainly Johnny on the spot there. I'm surprised that Hull haven't gone back to switching on Tar and Mackey.
I checked that with Noel Cleal before the kick-off. He says he thinks that Mackey gives him a bit more at scrum half, gives him more options perhaps.
Well, I think it could be time for a change in the second half, and also that Hull must realise that this Oldham defence has tightened up considerably, and there doesn't seem to be any gaps appearing down the middle. They've got to start pushing this ball out wide, Hull.
Platt has it for Oldham. Looking down the records here, they've only won twice in 10 years, Hull, at Watershedding. With a win like there is out there tonight, not one of the most hospitable places in rugby league, but I must say the club is one of the most hospitable. Good ball. And that's a great run from Warburton. Oh, this is an excellent run from Warburton. He hacks ahead. Was he impeded? Well, it doesn't matter. Perhaps Irving is there, soccer style. The wing is there. Great try. Oh, Steve Robinson's come off the bench. And he's touched down for a magnificent try. All down the hill. That ball was rolling and rolling and being kicked forward. And Robinson, the man on the end of it, for his first try of the season.
Beautiful play here. It was a wonderful inside pass. He did the kick through. Now, I thought he'd made a mistake here. But Irving was there, kicked off, bounced. I think Eastwood may have kicked it through. Robinson appears out of nowhere. That's great support play. And they really split this whole defence. Neat little kick there by the wingman. Irving is inside. Eastwood appears now, and I think it might be Eastwood that actually kicked it, but Robinson takes the spoil.
So they're the two men who created it. Number 4 is Richard Irving. Number 5 is Robinson, who scored it. And let's give credit to, for a smashing run from Steve Warburton on his debut. Flat adds the extras. Oldham really are in the driving seat now. They have an 8-point advantage. Oldham 18, Hull 10.
Yes, I'm sure that young Warburton will remember that break for quite some time. It was a lovely inside pass that created the opening. It showed tremendous pace. And really, Hull is really going to have to pull something out now.
Right, let's go downstairs and rejoin Peter Hutton.
Just one little irony about that try, Ed. Andy Owain was warming up. In fact, Andy Owain was ready to go back on the pitch, and the expectation was that Steve Robinson would be the person coming off. Steve Robinson not fully fit, so the Oldham bench thought. Owain could have come back on for him.
McAllister with a marauding run downfield. Ford takes it on. It's now with Warburton. He's still going. What a good run. What a good find this fellow looks. The Great Britain amateur standoff half. And remember, Hull mustn't lose this one by more than 15 points, otherwise they'll drop down a place in the First Division table. They trail by 8 points now.
Well, this is the final pass here, and he was coming inside there with Robinson. Ford tried to switch it out wide, but the gaps are appearing in this whole defence.
Mackey has the ball from the scrum. 1 minute of the second half gone. Peter Hutton's news of another substitution.
Yes, Hull looking to shore up their defence now by bringing on Dean Busby at number 15. He's in the picture. He's set to replace number 12, Russ Walker.
Well, Dean Busby had such an impressive debut in front of our cameras last time we saw Hull. It was against Featherstone, if I remember rightly. 10 minutes of this second half gone, as I say. 18-10 to Oldham, and Hull in danger of losing their third place in the table to Castleford. This is the last tackle. Ball's laid back to Eastwood. Good high kick to Test Flat. That fumbles it. Referee said that went back. Well, Duncan Platt lucky to get away with that one. He pulled Hull for exactly this in the first half.
Well, there's an old saying that if you're facing your own stick, you won't be called for a knock-on. And that's what happened.
Kick ahead, one for Longstaff to chase. Gay, though, sweeps up for Hull. Gets off on a good run, the Hull fullback. Stopped by Ford.
You've got to give a lot of credit to this Oldham side. They're using the kick very well indeed. That time Mackie had dropped back in the second phase, so he pushed the ball out wide away from him.
Longstaff finds the big man in support. There's a group of big men there. One of them was Durham. There was also Atkinson and Fieldhouse. Fieldhouse is there as well, doing a tackling stint. Along with McAllister. McAllister doesn't seem to want to let the Hull player to his feet. It wasn't McAllister at all, it was Longstaff. McNamara. There's McAllister now. Fifth tackle. Mackie, it's a good ball. Finds Nolan. Nolan in field to Dannett. And Dannett is trying to run through Clark, and I think Clark held him up. Oh, what a mistake by Andy Dannett. And what great play from little Brett Clark.
Well, would you believe it? Wonderful play here, created the opening, and Dannett wasn't there. Clark does the right thing. He may have felt the leather on his face, but it's all worthwhile. Now, he's a big guy on top. The little fella's on the bottom, and believe you me, oh, Noel Cleal must be pulling his hair out. They worked the blindside move so effectively. Mackie had switched the ball out wide. Wonderful support play. And he'll get quite a few words picking up, I'm sure, from Cleal after the game for that.
There certainly will be. And Martin, meanwhile, the Oldham centre, looks like he was going to be taken off. I think Peter Hutton has got some details of all this. The players coming off and on. Peter?
Yeah, Tommy Martin definitely coming off. The referee and the touch just talked to him. The injury happened there. You can see Martin crushed underneath the pile of players. Martin stayed down for about 2 minutes behind the play. The touch judge finally got to him, and they're just going to help him off now. And that means that the number 9, Andy Owain, is back on. Owain's been jogging up and down the touchline, and after looking in serious trouble himself, Owain goes right back into the middle of the pack whilst Martin comes off.
Question of walking wounded here then. And the whole substitutions happened at the same time as well. They've made a switch. Busby has come on for Russ Walker now, so they have made that switch. Meanwhile, he is Mike Ford. Ball has gone to ground. Ford has it back, and Oldham have 6 more. There's Dean Busby. Great debut for him. Last time we saw Hull on our cameras.
And he will need to produce that same class that he produced that night, because Hull really are shaken here.
What a mistake that was, though, from Dannett. He had the line gaping, of course. He was across the line in the in-goal area. And little Brett Clark, very alike, kept him on his back.
He just sort of clung to him like a limpet mine, didn't it?
Chance gone a-begging. Oldham take heart for that. Platt, that was a forward pass too. Referee again left it go. This is Blackman. Started well, faded a bit, coming back into it in the last couple of minutes. Now Clark, last tackle. Oh, improvisation. Ford with the kick over the top. And in this win, that's a great kick from Mike Ford.
Certainly is, but good play there by Brett Clark. He just got the ball out through backwards to his legs. And Ford seen there was no one at home. Eastwood out of position. Wonderful kick.
55 minutes gone, Oldham still with the 8-point advantage, and for that they can thank Brett Clark. On tap. Now Gay. Webb from dummy half. Tackling from Richard Russell, that. Jackson. And this is Nolan now. McAllister is all round him. Harris. Russell has him. Keeps the ball alive, though. Durham finds Onta. Here's Dannett. Still under the piece a few moments ago. I hate to think what Noel Clear will say when he gets back in the dressing room. Busby. Good play. Nolan. Wants to go on his own. The support melted away there. This is the last tackle. Kick ahead is a good one.
Excellent kick here by McNamara. Really pinpoint accuracy. But they need it. Hull have got to shake their feathers to get back into this game. That really would have stunned them. That try that they should have easily have scored.
Oldham have the possession from the scrum. And Oldham underneath their own stick. Number 10, Keith Atkinson clinging on. Number 10, Andy Dannett in front of him. This now is Fieldhouse. Oldham trying to work that ball away from their own line. This is Ruane who gave that to Ford. This is McAllister, and McAllister's thrown it straight into touch. He thought Blackman was there inside him, outside him. Not to be.
Well, here you see McAllister thinking that the wingman was there. Blackman had turned inside. And McAllister had a few choice words to say to the flying wingman there.
Referee wants the scrum to form. Went in and out, and Ford has it. But the referee... Ford has a little smile around the back of the scrum. The referee wants it to reform again. Now Hull have it. On tap to Gay. Back to Turner. It's a good driving run from Turner. Oldham have him. 8 metres short of the line. Greg Mackey. Another mistake, and Hull have it back. But only just. Harrison scored one early on. Jackson screaming for the ball out here on the left-hand side, wanting it to be worked this way, and it is. Busby. Still going Busby, lovely step. Good defence from Platt and Atkinson again. Hull are a metre short of that line. Number 11, Durham, releases the pass, and Oldham have it back. And Charlie McAllister, the man who comes up with possession for them.
Well, Hull have only themselves to blame for that. They tried to keep switching it back inside at replay of the ball, when all it was needed was to get the ball out wide. I really can't understand their tactics, why they're trying to keep it so tight.
Oldham then in possession again, working the ball away from their own try line. Let's go downstairs again to Peter Hutton, who's talking to Hull's John Sharp.
John, what can Hull do to turn this game around?
I think at the moment Hull are pressurising really well and controlling the game for the most part. But it's that odd occasion when they are making the break, they're making mistakes and losing the ball. And Oldham are gaining repossession and looking dangerous on the break.
Particularly with those Mike Ford chip ahead.
Yeah, that's right. I'm surprised that Hull haven't really picked up early on these kicks from Ford. He's really looked dangerous going forward, and chipping is leaving our defence flat footed.
Finally, just looking ahead to the Premiership, Hull have got quite an injury group down there. And are you going to be fit again?
I'm kind of a little bit of a knock-off player for 3 or 4 weeks with a knock now. And against Bradford it got a little bit too much for me, so Noel give me a week off. Feels a little bit better now, I'm sure most of the lads should be alright for next week. Thanks a lot.
Penalty to Hull, as John Sharp was talking there. Player was pulled back, player was on tap, and the offender was Russell.
No doubt about that. See, Ontar had no chance of retrieving that ball.
Eastwood with the Penalty then. Exactly an hour of play gone. 20 left. Oldham still hold the advantage. Having to defend now, right on their own 22. Now Durham. Up and Mackey. Kamara, run around, set move that, Nolan. Busby. On tap. Ball to Harrison, good smother defence from Oldham again. Wishing to tempt fate, but Oldham really do look too good for the second division. Great tackle. I don't know, Mike, whether it is because they turn on the show every time we're here.
Oh, this was a super tackle, Eddie. Like Clark on Nolan there. And Clark has hurt his shoulder, and not surprisingly, the power that the little man forced into the tackle. But Hull are being caught on the turnaround. There's Clark breathing in heavy.
Well collected that by Longstaff. McNamara has it. Warden's chip ahead. Here come Hull again.
Well, there you see Ontor once again looking for that inside pass. Surely Hull realise that they're just not making headway at all.
Delicate possession. Jackson from dummy half. There's on top now. Mackey. Look how quickly Ford comes up to try and snuff out the danger of Mackey. That. Oh, nowhere. Patrick Onta. That's the last tackle. Mackey hoists one. Caught in the wind. Flashes there. Drops it. The substitute is there. He gets to it first. I think it's try. Gary Nolan on his debut. Great day for Gary Nolan. His brother's on crutches. The man from Hull Dockers has won the race there and touchdown. Just got the pressure on it. A bit of a bloody nose for his pains, but this is a good try.
Beautiful kick, high kick. Nolan was going to be coming into the picture soon, but it was poor play by Duncan Platt, and he seemed to go into slow motion. This guy didn't. Nolan, good support play. Did he get it down? Definitely not. Here you see Platt making a real meal of it. It's a gift for Nolan. Hull have lost one, and they get one here, and we saw earlier in the replay that was no try.
Referee beaten by the pace of it. Nolan, though, not complaining. And neither will Hull be if Eastwood slots this one over. But our picture showed there the ball definitely not grounded, and Eastwood's missed it. Perhaps justice has been seen to be done, I don't know.
Well, here we see again, and maybe we can get a better insight. I don't know. But let's be fair, I suppose, to the referee. This is the angle that I don't think he got it down. No, I have my doubts about that one, but as they say in the old school manual, read the newspaper tomorrow, it'll be on the scoring list.
18-14. I noticed actually the scoreboard operator here at Watersheddings, he decided that Eastwood was a 100% certainty for that one. He put the 2 points up for the conversion. There's Noel Clear, he won't be too happy about all this. Looks annoyed, isn't he? And I wouldn't like to be in the same room as Mr. Clear when he gets annoyed, Mike.
Wouldn't like to be in the same county.
Oldham come back again then. This is Warburton. I wonder if Fieldhouse has offered this fellow a contract here at Watershedding. There's Fieldhouse. Oh, it's a bit thinner underneath the Oldham boots at this moment. 4 points the difference. McAllister's dropped it. Has Irving got it, or is it Brad Webb? The referee's verdict is a scrub down.
Well, I don't know where the referee got the knock on from there, unless he deemed that McAllister's hand to the ball was that.
A big hit. My word, it was from McAllister.
Washka. Give it to him, Big Charlie.
Gay. If I'm not mistaken, that was Dean Busby on the receiving end of that clatter from McAllister. He knows what the game's all about. Mackey. Last tackle. Well, at least we're trying to make amends for that missed goal. Harrison. Looks ahead. Fine touch.
Well, it was a good kick by Harrison, but it wasn't intended for him. You could have thrown a blanket out of all the whole forwards there. They really are at 6s and 7s. I just can't understand why they want to keep bringing this ball back inside. They play it into the hands of Oldham, playing it down the middle.
Hull have won the scrum so far, 9-7. Oldham winning the match 18-14. 12 minutes of the game to go. Penalty to Hull.
Well, the crowd didn't like it, but there's no doubt about it. The ball was placed on the floor. And under the rules of our game, you are allowed to strike for it. But not that hard. That's why the penalty was good. Dangerous kicking.
Hull fine touch then. They're back in the Oldham 22. Ten metres short. Paul Eastwood is stopped. Mackey. Damn it. He's got something to make up for now after that try that he was held up for. Where is he? He's underneath all that, and he's just about 2 or 3 inches short of the line. Desperate defence from Oldham. Atkinson smothered Jackson completely as he got that ball. Much more Jackson's hurt. He holds the clock up again.
Well, there you can see how he spun round. His head hit the ground quite hard. And there you can see a display of the ball. Well, there's no doubt about it. Fieldhouse was offside. He was nearly on the side of the Hull players then.
Taking a knock to the back of the neck by the looks of things. Jackson, Great Britain international hooker. Hookers have been in the wars here tonight. Here it is again, Mike.
Well,
Feel for him here.
Look at that. Well, that's Fieldhouse going down, and there you can see. Oh, dearie me. Very lucky man, the hooker. That's why they train hard. Neck exercises ever so important in the game of rugby league if you are a forward.
On tap. The ball to the substitute Nolan. Scored a good try earlier on. 10 minutes of this match to go. 4 points the difference. On tap. Trying to weave a little bit of French magic. Kick ahead. Oh, and it was lucky again that Brett Clark was there. As Neil Turner closed in for the kill, it was Clark who got a fist to it and just punched it wide. Watch this.
Good play there by Clark. That's the second occasion that he saved Oldham. Well, they want him to buy him a few pints if Oldham hang on to this lead.
McAllister's drop out from underneath his own sticks, straight down the throat of Gay. Feedback picking up pace. until he's met by those two, the big prop forwards, Fieldhouse 8 and Atkinson 10. Busby now. Thinking to himself, there was no marker standing in front of him. And yet again, Oldham under the cosh. Harrison, Pallister and Fieldhouse. He does lead by example, the Oldham player coach. On tap, bringing the ball back to where the movement started. Made no progress whatsoever. Mackey. Eastwood, his kick ahead. Ford sweeps up for Oldham.
Well, I don't apologise for keep repeating this, but I cannot understand why Hull want to continually use the inside pass. It has not worked for them. They have to change their tactics. They are the side that are chasing this point. They're 4 points adrift.
3,397 the official attendance. Bad on the night when Oldham are doomed to the second division and Hull have got third place to cling on to. I must say that they've brought a fair contingent over the Pennines with them, the men from Humberside. That's good tackling by the team that the black and white supporters have come to support. Penalty to Hull.
Well, this referee has to start taking a little bit more control now. There are players all over the place. They're not getting back the required distance.
And what's more, Nolan's coughed it up. But the Oldham player, Blackman, couldn't keep in play, and he's forced out.
Good play by Nolan. He knew he'd made the mistake, but he made up for it.
Let's go downstairs and rejoin Peter Hutton.
Just to use another substitution, Ed, it's Russ Walker, the number 12, who's the man going to come on. The guy coming off is going to be the number 13, Steve McNamara. Hull have been waiting for about 2 or 3 minutes to decide whether McNamara or Jackson are coming off, but Russ Walker is definitely going to come on after waiting out in the cold out there for a couple of moments.
So Walker will come on for Jackson, who received the bang on the back of the neck earlier on, right beneath the Oldham post. Meanwhile, play is held up again for Brett Clark. To the left of your picture there by the referee. The little stand-off half needing attention, as McNamara it is who goes off to be replaced by Walker. This is the reason why.
Well, you can see here Nolan's going through it. Now Clark spins over badly. There you can see it. Twisted the ankle. And that's the reason why he's hopping around gingerly. But it's pretty tough. He won't go off.
Hull have the possession. This is Turner. Runs straight back towards where Clark was receiving treatment. They're so close to the line here, Hull now. Mackey, Onta. Good defence from Oldham. Walker just back on. Again, Fieldhouse leading from the front. Ian Atkinson getting through some work, but that's a bad mistake. Knock on. Jackson is furious.
And so he should be. They really pushed his way in there. Took his eye off the ball. Look at that.
The 12th handling error from Hull. 9 from Oldham. 5 minutes of normal time to go. I think there'll be quite a bit of injury time to be played at the end of this match. Penalty at the scrum to Oldham. But Mike, we see players here tonight hobbling around, limping. These lads have all had a week off. Wigan have had to play 4 matches in 7 days. Quite remarkable what they've achieved.
Well, it certainly is, but I'm quite sure a few of these players would have gone into this game carrying a lot of injuries. There we see the penalty given, but Hull have got away with it quite a few times by wheeling the pack and pushing.
It does point up, though, doesn't it, the Wigan achievement, the fact that they've had to play so many matches in the last fortnight of the season, and yet they've come out on top. And all right, they've had injuries, bumps and bruises, but they've played through them.
They certainly have, and I think that John Money obviously have used the fact where they've used it as a coaching clinic, a coaching session, and instead of having to go training, they just turn up and play a game.
You can see the way these players are getting to their feet wearily after they've been tackled. It's such a physically demanding game, this. And Oldham and Hull, believe me, know that they've been in a battle royal tonight. Ford's kick ahead. The chase is on. Ontel will have to be quick. He's dropped it. Referee says it went backwards. Oldham fans furious.
That's been a key factor in Oldham's success so far. They've used the kicking game far better. There you see the replay in your top right-hand corner. They really have used this kicking game a lot better than what Hull has done.
Durham, good tackling. Great tackling from Andy Ruane. Although he had to go off on a stretcher earlier on. Waved the stretcher away, rubbed the knee, he's back and he's really involved in the thick of it. 3 minutes to go, argy-bargy between McAllister and Eastwood. And McAllister man penalised.
Well, Eastwood had the first go. McAllister retaliated. Why on earth he'd want to have a go at that big fellow is beyond me.
Eastwood got the penalty though.
Well, it's often the case the retaliator gets caught.
There he is, Eastwood. A big smile on his face too when McAllister took the swing at him. I don't think I would.
He wouldn't have been smiling if it had connected. Well, Hull really have now to throw caution to the wind. They've got to try something different. The kick over or the long ball where they miss a man out wide.
Fieldhouse has it for Oldham. Warburton. Tackle not completed, now it is. Richard Russell. Atkinson. Ball's come out. See that so often towards the back end of this season. Referee says tackle is made and completed, ball stripped out.
Well, Harrison was pulling at the ball. It came away. No point in looking at the referee. Andy Dannett was also involved there, shaking his head in disbelief.
That's the strength of the wind. That penalty hasn't found touch, it's found Eastwood instead. The Dannett shaking his head, of course. A try of his that was saved by the last-ditch effort from Clark. With the difference between winning and losing pay here. Walker. The way it stands at the moment, Hull will hold on to third place. Castleford will finish fourth. Clark has it for Oldham. He's been my man of the match tonight and he's hurt that ankle. He has to take the tackle from Busby and the referee is calling for the trainer to come on again.
Well, Clark was obviously in a lot of distress here. I'm sure he wasn't too happy about the fact that Busby finished him off. He can't go any further. He takes the option and one. Oh, that's not called for.
He could have just laid a hand on him, couldn't he? Man's injured on the floor.
It's also been a problem for Hull tonight. The frustration. They have not respected possession. They certainly haven't shown anything of a side who is up there in the top three of the Premiership table.
O'Cleal, far from happy man. Walkie-talkie, an important element in the coaching kit these days. Ian Proctor, our statistician, has been working things out up here, by the way, as we enter stoppage time with Oldham ahead 18-14. The first round of the Premiership will look like this: Wigan against Featherstone, Widnes against Bradford, Castleford against Leeds, and Hull against St Helens. You'll see one of those matches next week on the Sports Channel from 6:15. Good kick ahead. Ruane, what a hero he's been tonight. Looks like he's damaged his knee. Now he's come on and, well, great kick, Mike.
It certainly was. A wonderful recovery. A lot of grit and determination in this Oldham win tonight.
Mike Ford. Gritty, determined display from Oldham tonight. Going out of the First Division with a bang. Mike Ford squaring up to Andy Dannett. Atkinson.
Oldham will be quite happy just to play down in the whole quarter. Use the kick on the last tackle. Put pressure on Hull and keep them down there.
That's where they are now with McAllister. There's the last tackle. Wait for the kick. Wonder if they'll set a drop goal attempt up here. Played back to Ford. Well, I think they were going for it. Had it been taken cleanly by Mike Ford, I think he wanted it. As it is, Richard Gay has it. Richard Blackman has him. And we're entering the 3rd minute of stoppage time here at Watersheddings. At cool and breezy Watersheddings, believe me. Clear blue skies overhead, but the wind chill has been quite something tonight. Robinson has it for Oldham. Ruane now. Fieldhouse, last big effort. These are the last seconds of First Division football at Watersheddings for 12 months at least. You're watching here. Atkinson, if they show this much determination and spirit, they'll be back before long. Irving! Irving! No try.
Good determined run by Irving there. The referee was right there to see whether it was a try or not. This is a replay. No, he lost it inches before the line.
We're into the 4th minute of stoppage time. Fieldhouse has stripped the ball away from Durham legally this time. McAllister. Well, they're ending on a high note here, Oldham. Going out with a bang.
Not only going out with a bang, but leaving Hull with a lot of problems.
Fieldhouse again, always willing to take it up down the middle. "14 metres from the line. Longstaff. Oldham have 2 more tackles to get over that line. Longstaff now is injured. He's taking an eternity to get to his feet. Attempted drop goal from the way, and it's there.
Well, at one point, the guy looked as though he was on his way to hospital. Now he's the local hero. Well taken.
Well, it's not a happy hunting ground, the Watersheddings ground for Hull. And that's a forward pass, just to add insult to their injury. And what's more, Ruane dropped a goal in the defeat of Hull 2 seasons ago when they were last here.
That was a forward pass from Jackson to Mackie, no doubt about it. But really, Eddie, Hull have a lot to do in the week before the playoffs. They haven't got it together. They found forwards loitering out wide when they should have been working harder, but they've really kept this ball tight, bringing it back inside all the time. And that's helped to their downfall tonight.
Yes, I think Noel Cleal, and he'll be the first to admit it, I'm sure, has got a bit of work to do on the training pitch this week to get the confidence back for the Premiership. That's all they have left now, of course. And 5 minutes and 20 seconds on my watch of stoppage time played. It's been a bruising encounter, this. And Ruane is off again. Fieldhouse hacks the ball downfield, but knock on is Brian Galtrus's decision. Hull screaming for the ball to be brought back, to be fed into the scrum. They think they can rescue this. 19 to Oldham, 14 to Hull. Mackey has possession from the scrum. It's now with Gay. And there's the full-time siren, the signal for the pitch invasion, which is unfortunate. And that's the end of Oldham in the first division, but they've gone out on a high note. Oldham 19, Hull 14. Reaction to this result after the break.